Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek, here with Stefan Ross from Ordinat Games, looking at Cavemen playing with fire, which sounds like, I mean, obviously they have to. Somebody had to play with fire.
Exactly.
So why not the Cavemen?
Exactly.
So we're set up here. This is a two-player game.
Yes.
We're set up. I am over here. You're over here.
Exactly.
What are we trying to do here, aside from play with fire?
Yeah, it's actually a sort of capture the flag system. You have each an identical deck of cards.
Okay.
In this deck are caves and all characters, and the characters have all ranks. Number one is the biggest and the baddest.
Okay.
And number
biggest, baddest. That's
yes.
right.
And number two is number two, and they all have names, but they have digits to tell what is their rank. So
Okay.
number one is the highest in rank.
Except for the dino.
Except for the dino. I will come to that later if you're okay with that.
Yes.
What is the purpose of the game? A player places in his turn cards on the table, and you can walk through the vertical columns towards one of the three fires of the opponent. And then if you come in the last lane, you have to extinguish the fire.
Okay.
If you do that, you win.
So
capture one of the three.
one of the opponent's fires and you win.
Because if you can see, one's got a fire hose, another one's got a bucket, and another one has a fire extinguisher.
Oh no, that's a different guy. Okay.
So the other knots travel through time to extinguish fire in the prehistoric.
Okay.
How does that work? In each vertical column, a player at turn can move one action, one thing. Suppose you're laying two cards. You can only move a character one step up or one step down. If you do that in this vertical column, you cannot move this card anymore. So you have to choose, think carefully what I'm going to do. That's for all these vertical columns. You can go horizontal ways. So I did an action in this column.
Yes.
I arrived, but I didn't do anything yet. So I still could go up front or backwards, and I even can go all the way there.
But I'm going to be playing mine as well.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Pushing back.
And you'll meet each other in the middle. You have to defend, and you have to go an offensive way to attack the fire.
Okay.
You do that with a lot of characters, like you said. There was a number one, you have number five, you have it 3 times. You have caves. Let me see what we all have here.
One is the biggest.
One is the biggest.
One is biggest.
One
biggest,
takes-
baddest, ballsy.
Yes. Remember his name.
It's a companionship to the other guy.
So number one beats number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 2, of course, can beat number 1. There are also 2 characters who don't have a digit, so they have a special rank. Zippy only has a symbol of ballsy.
Overhead. Timer.
Freeze frame.
That's right. We do this like Leslie Nielsen style, where we just freeze here. I don't know if you ever watch Airplane.
Yes.
Or, yeah, if you do that.
Was it an airplane or flying high?
Police squad. Police squad is the main thing. You gotta do the frame at the end where you go.
Yeah, the end shot. Yeah.
You just freeze and then walk around there.
Good old Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Actually, he had Dutch blood.
He is what?
Dutch blood. He was from Dutch
blood.
origin. Leslie Nielsen.
Ik spreek een beetje Nederlands.
Nee.
Also. Yes.
Hoe kan dat nou?
Yes.
Why is that?
I stayed in there for 6 months. It's
yeah.
mostly, it's like, ik wil graag een chocolade. No, it's yes.
That's funny.
They say, aan de kant oma.
Opperrotter.
It's not very useful necessarily. What I said was, get out of the way, Grandma.
Yeah. Opperrotter,
you know.
oma.
Yes, opperrotter. That's another way? All right.
What did you say?
Aan de kant?
Aan de kant, oma. Yeah, aan de kant.
Yeah.
Aan de kant is get out of the way, but opperrotter is fuck off.
I'll have to remember that for my next trip.
Opperrotter.
Okay. Back to the cave. We got Zippy.
You got Zippy. You see, Zippy doesn't have a number, but has a symbol. And that symbol is what he can do. He can only defeat the highest in rank. So you have the rock, paper, scissors system.
Okay.
It's like a spy in Stratego.
Yes.
You have the big angry dino. You can see that at his looks. He has the symbols of all the characters, so he beats everybody. But if that happens, if you attack a dino or a dino attacks you, those both cards go out of the play and never come back.
Okay.
Saying that, that means that cards you lose can come back into play. How is that happening? The highest in rank and the lowest in rank have a symbol of a stash of cards. That's just to remember the player. If I lose one of these cards, I can get my discard pile back. as a draw pile.
Okay, and you shuffle it
You
back
shuffle
in
it,
the mini?
and then you have a new draw pile because you know it's limited.
Yes.
Your draw pile. But there are two exceptions. This one is easy to lose, of course, Zippy, because he's the lowest in rank.
Yes.
So Zippy cannot
doesn't look
commit
too brave.
suicide.
Okay.
He has to be attacked.
Okay.
And the other exception is very logical. If you lose this card, you get back your lost pile, but not if the Zippy of the opponent beats him, because that was his only purpose in life.
Right.
Okay. Then you have also cave cards, and with cave cards you can exchange caves of the opponent, so you have a more playing field, because what is happening, if you place cards, you can only do that at the cave card of your same color.
Okay.
So you're next to the fire of the opponent.
And if the other opponent is coming back and I replace it with one of my own?
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Then nothing happens because I'm already
But
here.
they're frozen here until you progress.
No. I can walk.
Oh, you're already through.
I can walk, but then it was my cave,
defenses.
but I have to go to the enemy's caves.
Okay.
But this is more a handy way to first capture this cave to gain land.
Okay.
But you can do that again, so if I'm moving, I cannot place cards anymore.
Right.
Because a turn has three phases. The first phase is action, so you do all actions in the vertical columns. The second phase is you have 5 cards in hand, you deploy 1 to 3 cards,
Okay.
and then you fill it again in your third phase from the draw pile until 5 cards. And then the next player is, so then he can do actions. And then can he place cards, and then he fills it again. And that way you play and you hope to be the first to extinguish a fire.
All right.
10 to 30 minutes. People who love chess, who love Stratego, who love Japanese chess, they love it.
It seems like that with a lot of, you know the decks, and you carry on from there
Yes.
as you see everything.
Exactly, and the tactical thing in this game is also losing these 2 cards at the right time. Because
Right.
at a certain moment you don't have a draw pile anymore.
Right.
And if your opponent cannot get back his lost pile as a draw pile, then he has a disadvantage. So you must be very wise how to get him not get back his cards.
Okay.
And then this is handy as well, because if you lose, ballsy with the dino, they go out of
They're
play.
out of the game then, maybe.
And then you have 1 card less to get back your draw pile.
All right. Well, thanks very much for the overview.
Thank you.
Ja, aan de kant.
Aan de kant.